here a doctor, then he's not only doctor, he is a physician also. Then also I can say he's a singer also. Okay. So please welcome you also on behalf of our Yoga University of America. Please bless us through your divine lectures as our students. Thank you, doctor. Please welcome.
Thank you, Devaki Madhav.
Thank you.
First of all, I thank the Yoga University of America, Florida, for giving this opportunity to stand before you. Today, I am going to talk on cellular respiration and cellular oxygenation. See, without oxygenation of the cell, no tissue will survive. And to get the energy, almost all the cells requires oxygenation and energy, including the brain, heart, kidney, skeletal muscles, gonads, everything. So let us start today's lecture. I will share some slides here. So what is cellular oxygenation? It is the result of body circulatory system plus a process known as cellular respiration. Last year I spoke about the circulatory system as well as the heart, how it transports the oxygen and nutrients to all parts of the body. This time I am going little bit molecular level, cellular respiration. So before going to cellular respiration and oxygen, let us know little about the cells, its structure, etc. The cell is the basic structural, functional and biological unit of all the organisms. There are two types of cells, prokaryocyte and karyocyte. Kary means nucleus. So prokaryocyte doesn't contain nucleus. Karyocyte, it will have nucleus. So there are two types of cells. Approximately about 30 trillion cells are in the human body, which includes stem cells from the bone marrow, blood cells, muscle cells, bone cells, sex cells, cartilage cells, nerve cells, skin cells, etc. etc. So, what I am going to tell about the oxygenation and respiration, it applies to all the cells here. So, coming to the prokaryocyte, they are the organism whose cells lack a nucleus. There is no nucleus in it. Usually it is single cell organism like bacteria, archaea, like that. Even Escherichia coli, any bacteria for example, gram positive, gram negative bacteria that doesn't contain nucleus. This is the structure of a karyocyte that contains the nucleus. You can see the diagram here. In the center is the nucleus. There are mainly three parts in the cell. One is cell membrane. Can you see the cursor here? Pointer? Pointer, can you make out?
Yes, yes.
Okay. This is the cell wall and this is the nucleus. In between the cell wall and the nucleus is the cytoplasm, that bluish color one. So there are many organelles. These are all called organelles that is floating in the cytoplasm. First, I will just name the organelles. This is nucleolus, this is nucleus, this is endoplasmic reticulum, this is mitochondria, and this is Golgi bodies. And these vacuoles are lysosomes. I will tell in brief about the functions of each. Coming to this side, see this nucleolus contains some protein which produce the ribosomes. Ribosomes actually it will be released to the nucleus to the endoplasmic reticulum. I will tell you later. And here in the nucleus there are DNA, that is chromatin, and chromosomes are here. And coming to the endoplasmic reticulum, this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum and this is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It is a tubular structure connecting the nucleus to the cell membrane out to the cell. So whatever the ribosomes release from the nucleus will be transmitted attached to the ribosomes. So ribosomes is nothing but a type of proteins. Depending on the character of the cell, the nature of the protein decides whether it is a hormone or any enzymes like that. And this, after a ribosome, it enters the Golgi bodies where it is packed and formed the real protein, and it will be expelled to the other interstitial tissues. Mitochondria, I will tell the detail about the mitochondria. If you are having any doubts, you can ask immediately so that I can explain with the slides. And this is the same slide, diagrammatic picture. Again, the central one is the nucleolus, and this is the nucleus, and this nucleolus contains ribosome, and nucleus contains DNA, that is chromatin and chromosomes. And these are all the endoplasmic reticulum. You can see the dots here. These are all the dots, nothing but ribosomes released from the nucleolus to the nucleus. And this is the Golgi bodies. All ribosomes collect here, and that will get packed and released to the other cell as hormones or enzymes like that. Same thing. This is the mitochondria. So the mitochondria, the main function is cellular respiration. It generates ATP from breakdown of fats and other fuels like glucose like that. So in the presence of oxygen. Coming to the cell, the smallest cell in the human body is sperm. It's just 4 micrometers, 20 times greater than, smaller than ovum. And largest cell in the human body is ovum. That means we are giving prominence to the females. Largest cell is ovum. And longest cell in the human body is neurons. That is from the brain to the spinal cord. So as I told, this cellular respiration occurs in all the cells. Like this is the skeletal muscles, and this is the eye, brain, and this is the cardiac muscles, like that. I will not go in detail with this, just general terms I will tell. So what are all the stages of cellular respiration? Glycolysis, transition reaction, Krebs cycle, oxidative phosphorylation by ATP, and electron transport chain. This is purely medical biochemistry. You may not understand if I explain in detail, so just I brief it. Glycolysis means breakdown of the glucose, and that will be transmitted through so many cycles, and it's oxidative and electron. I will explain in a very simple diagram here. See, this is the microscopic structure of the mitochondria. This is the electron microscopy here. You can see the outer layer, inner layer, and inner cristae. That is the corrugated like that. That increase the surface area for the oxygenation. Here, this mitochondria takes the glucose, that is C6H12 is nothing but carbohydrate. Utilizing the carbon dioxide with the help of hemoglobin from the circulation, it releases the water, carbon dioxide, and energy. Understand? So from the food what we take, this is the carbohydrate, C6H2O6, carbohydrate or glucose, utilizing the oxygen with the help of hemoglobin from the circulation. So in the mitochondria, that will be converted into energy, H2O and CO2. Energy in the form of, we call it as ATP.
Doctor.
Yeah.
So, previous slide, you please come to the previous slide. You said here oxygen, that is with the help of hemoglobin. That means that oxygen will present, otherwise oxygen will carry by hemoglobin. That's why we are taking help of hemoglobin. I think that is the meaning, I feel.
Yes. So if the circulation is normal, you will get oxygenation to the cells with the help of circulation and hemoglobin. To get the circulation normal, you should be physically active. You have to take good food and And particularly yoga is helpful for aged people, pranayama people. Particularly pranayama is helpful for aged people because youngsters they can go for cycling, walking, jogging, and playing outdoor games, etc. But these are almost bedridden. They don't go out of the house. They can sit on the chair and do the pranayama and get the good oxygenation because of the good circulation, right?
Okay, thank you.
And the same thing is depicted in diagrammatic manner. So respiration is the process that the body uses to release energy from digested food, that is glucose. So this is glucose from the digestive system, and from breathing system oxygen that will be converted in mitochondria, carbon dioxide and water. So carbon dioxide is a waste, it will be exhaled through the respiration. Water, it will be exhaled through the respiration, through the perspiration as well as through the urine. And energy. Energy is useful for us. Yes.
Doctor, this water, our body is not going to absorb?
Pardon? Yes. So whatever, see 75% of the body is containing the water only. That much is required. Excess of water is excreted. So you can see another important thing in this equation. And the main difference between cell, human cell or animal cell and plant cell is plant cells it will have cell wall, whereas animal cell have got only cell membrane. Okay, one. Number two is, see, we come from the opposite side, using the energy and water and carbon dioxide with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll. Instead of hemoglobin, it is chlorophyll. The plant produces oxygen and glucose. Understand?
Reverse process.
See, I will explain again. In human being, from the digestive system, glucose and with the help of oxygen from the circulation and the breathing, it produces carbon dioxide, water and energy. Carbon dioxide and water will be excreted. So we will get the energy. But in plant, this is the reverse. Using the carbon dioxide and water with the help of sunlight as energy, with the help of chlorophyll as the pigment, instead of hemoglobin pigment, here the chlorophyll pigment, it produces the oxygen and glucose. Glucose will be stored in the leaves, stem, fruits, vegetables, like that. That we can do. So in vegetables, many times we consume the fruits, many times we consume the leaves of the plant, many times you consume the stem. Stem means this one, cane, sugar cane. No. Understand? This is very important equation.
Beauty of the nature.
I have a question regarding energy.
Okay.
Can I ask now, madam?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yes, you can.
Doctor, this glucose contains C6H12 and O6, and it combines with oxygen O2. So the result is carbon dioxide and water. So the entire this chemical combination is converted into water and carbon dioxide. Where is this energy comes from?
That is important. With the help of hemoglobin, oxygen and that is the function of the mitochondria. Mitochondria release this one.
All these atoms of carbon dioxide, hydrogen and oxygen is converted into water and carbon dioxide, and this energy is the extra addition here in this chemical reaction.
That is biochemistry. It's not pure chemistry. This is biochemistry. We release the energy. See, here also, in the opposite also like that energy, using the energy, we'll get oxygen and glucose. So where goes the energy? Energy will be stored in the form of glucose. And when the animal consumes the glucose, it will get energy. Energy cannot be measured energy cannot be measured like atoms. It's all individual.
It's a bioenergy. That's why we have not shown in the any molecular CO2, H2, like that can come. It is just energy, that's all. That's a vital energy, we can say. Yes, doctor?
Yes. See, many times when you do some chemical reaction, heat is released. But we are not mentioning plus heat, that's all. And the same thing, breathing, when we consume the food here, glucose goes into the cells because of the respiration. So respiration, carbon dioxide is inhaled, oxygen is inhaled, carbon dioxide is exhaled. So because of the cell respiration, carbon dioxide is exhaled through this one, oxygen you have taken, and this will be converted to energy. The function of mitochondria is by using oxygen and glucose, it produces the energy. That is the main function. The extra waste is water and carbon dioxide. Any doubts? Mahadev?
That's all, sir. That means something else in the mitochondria gets converted into energy. That's what I could understand.
I'll come to that. Yes, you are right. See, I have shown this nucleus. Nucleolus contains ribosomes, and nucleus contains chromatin, that is this one, DNA. Okay. Here, this mitochondria also contains ribosomes. It is independent, it is. Mitochondria also contains ribosomes and DNA. Here, it contains ribosomes and DNA. And with that help, it converts. That is why it's called mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell.
Yes. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. So, in the cells actually there are two types. One is fixed, that is skeletal muscle, neural system, like that. Another is moving cells. Among moving cells, there are floating cells also. Floating cells in the form of RBC, WBC, platelets, etc. Moving cells, here in the respiratory tract, there is an epithelium. Here I showed. This is columnar epithelium. You can see the hair-like structure. That is called cilia. So whenever the person inhales some dust, that is, the cilia moves opposite and it tries to expel the dust through the sputum. Many times we spit by coughing. That is the function of the cilia. In case those who smoke, this cilia gets damaged after a long period of smoking. The cilia gets damaged. So dust particles and will not be expelled. It will be here only in the cells. That causes irritation to the cell and causes lung cancer or any other infection. Coming to the sperms, actually, it is also a moving cell. So, usually for movement, we require a cilia, that is respiratory lining, flagella, that is sperm, and false feet. In ovum it is false feet, I will show it. And so when the oxygenation goes to the testis, that is male sexual testis, when you when you take the cross section of the testis, it will look like this. Central lumen, seminiferum tubules, and these are all the Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells helps in spermatozoa production and sperm movement, whereas interstitial cells contain Leydig cells that actually secrete testosterone hormones. Many a times in infertility, those who do not have any issues, but they have got Leydig cells, that means they have got testosterone hormones. They develop the secondary sexual characters like growing beard and mustache and muscular organ, but this lack of sperms or sperm count will be very low. Usually, normally, sperm count is 30 millions to 300 millions per ml. It will be normal count. And the same thing. See, in the sperm actually, this is the head, and the body middle piece contains the mitochondria. This is the powerhouse for the sperm. And this is plasma membrane tail. This tail helps in movement. So and this is the group of sperms rushing towards the ovum through fallopian tube. Coming to this ovum, this is the largest cell in the human body. You can see this corona radiata. This helps in movement of the ovum. So as you all know, ovum is released in the woman on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. And later on it enters the fallopian tube, comes to the body of the uterus and goes out through the menstrual cycle. So when on the 14th day the ovum is released, that means 7 days prior to the ovulation and 7 days after the ovulation is the fertilization period, and during that if the conception can happen. So for family planning also, we advise the newly married people not to go for sexual intercourse during that period. That is 7 days prior to the ovulation, and that means 7th day after the menstruation. So in between, understand? And as told, every cell has got nucleus, cytoplasm, like that. Same mechanism here also. So how fertilization occurs? Why I am telling this is, for movement of the, pardon? For movement of the ovum and the sperm.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sir, 1 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬೇರೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು. Thank you, sir.
Why I am touching about the fertilization means, the movement of the sperms and the ovum also requires oxygen and regular exercise and good food. Without that, you cannot get fertilization. Because nowadays, most of the young girls will have PCOD problem, polycystic ovarian disease. That means this ovum is released on the 14th day. In those girls, those who are on PCOD, the ovum is not at all released, that will stay in the ovary itself, and that collects, surrounding that fluid collects. And next month, again one more ovum, it will be retained there only. So they don't have regular periods, and body obesity occurs, and lack of estrogen results in developing the moustache and beard also. And they are usually infertile. So among the 33 million sperms, only one sperm is able to fertilize the ovum. Survival of the fittest. So usually sperm enters here and ovum from this here. So usually the fertilized egg, this is the ovulated egg, and here the sperms comes from the here and fertilize day 1, day 2, day 4, like that. And once it gets 16 to 32 cells, it will get implanted to the uterine wall. This is polycystic ovarian disease. You can see this is normal follicles, and it will be released. Here it is released. Here it is not at all released. This collects here only. See, this is also again cross section. Okay, next we will come to the immunity, because immunity is also very much important for your respiration, oxygenation, and exercise, everything. We have got barrier immunity, innate immunity, adaptive immunity. Barrier immunity means body itself, the skin itself has a barrier for so many diseases. And even in gastrointestinal tract, like in stomach, it secretes the hydrochloric acid that kills the so many bacteria. That is also a barrier immunity. And in the intestine, we have salt, that is salt, mucus associated lymphoid tissue. In skin we have got salt, in intestine we have got malt. That MALT means mucus associated lymphoid tissue. Lymphoid tissue is nothing but lymphocytes that gives the immunity. Innate immunity means, nate means born, inmate, that is newly born. But so immunity we are getting from by birth itself. In that barrier immunity also true, that is skin and mucous membrane. Along with that, see, during birth, if the baby born through the natural canal, the baby is exposed to so many bacteria and they have got more immunity for those bacteria. And those who are fed on the first day breast milk, that is colostrum, they have got lot of antibodies from the mother and they have got innate immunity. And it has been proved that those who born through cesarean section or those who are bottle fed, they have got low immunity and they are susceptible for so many diseases like bronchitis, gastroenteritis and other communicable diseases. Next comes the adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity, that means when we expose to disease, we get some antibodies and next time you won't get such diseases, or through vaccines. So coming to the barrier immunity in detail, again I told this respiratory lining already, I have already mentioned, and this is skin and this is gastrointestinal tract. Within the gastrointestinal tract, there is normal bacterial flora, normal bacteria that is helpful to synthesize the B12 in the body. When we take some poisonous foods, toxins, usually that get rid of by these bacteria. But in long run, nowadays the youngsters, they depend on the street food, bakery food, online food. See, those contains only maida and colors, essence and Ajinomoto salt that actually burns the wall of the intestine, stomach, everything. And here in the small intestine also villi, just like cilia, villi are there, that will get damaged, that destroys the normal commensals. So that's how they get the dysentery, gastric ulcer, everything. And even in the urinary tract, urine secretes uristatin antiseptic naturally. That prevents the infection of the urinary tract system. Innate immunity, as I already told, by birth these are all these RBC, red blood corpuscles, and the bluish are the white blood corpuscles. There are so many types of white blood corpuscles. This is eosinophil, this is lymphocytes, this is mast cell, like that. I will not go in detail, but these are all helps in whenever there is infection, the lymphocyte count increases and goes to the site of infection, and there will be swelling, and the function of these lymphocytes is phagocytosis. Like amoeba, it engulfs the bacteria. This is normal flora, I have already told. Coming to the adaptive immunity, one thing is exposure to pathogens, second thing is vaccines. So during COVID, many of the, even first wave there was no vaccine, but so many people are exposed to the disease, but still they are good because of their innate immunity is good, and they have exposed to the COVID virus. They got mild running nose or sore throat or mild fever. Within 3 to 4 days they will become normal. So that's how they develop the immunity. That is, we called in a group herd immunity. And immunity got by vaccine is called vaccine immunity. So both together, we in Indians, we have got hybrid immunity towards COVID. So even in China, there is a lot of COVID cases even now, but we are not getting. Why? First and foremost is the China vaccine is substandard. They are not at the mark. WHO has not at all recognized. Because of the pressure from the China government, they have recognized. And in our country, in whole of the world, this one, Covaxin and what is that? Covaxin and Covishield. Yeah, Covishield vaccines, it stands first in the world actually regarding the potency. And last year, Pfizer was claiming that it is 80% thing, but now it has improved. That also the potency has reduced to 40 to 50%. They are getting the disease. But Indians, very hard working people, they don't mind even exposed to the disease. So from all the angles, they get the antibodies. One is exposure to the pathogens and innate immunity. Next is good vaccines and willpower. So coming to the decalcification, yes, yes, madam.
So, on your explanation of some 5 to 10 minutes regarding the immunity, that means naturally we will have immunity in each and organs and then system naturally produces the immunity.
Yes.
So that's why so for mild disease and all we won't get any fever or any infection like that. If we lost that immunity cells, otherwise whatever immunity is exposed here, no, then I think we will, the this thing diseases will be attacked. So how we can rather than these medicines and all, can you throw some light how we can increase our immunity through yoga or something like that? How we can increase the immunity level in this your medicine, physiologist says, doctor.
So that's a
Is
good
there any
question.
chance of increasing? Because in many researchers, I have seen some hundreds to thousands of research papers regarding this immunity. Yoga, especially pranayama, will increases the immunity. Totally, yoga will increases the immunity. And please throw some light on it for my students, doctor.
Yes, it's a good question. So immunity, you cannot get it in 1 or 2 days. When the COVID arises, lots of people start yoga and taking good food. That is not correct. From the day one of birth, they should have good food and a lot of vegetables and fruits. There is no substitute for vegetables and fruits. You have to take lot of alkaloids, vitamins will be there, fiber is there. It is good for health and regular physical exercise. Till the teenagers, some sports and all. Once they attain majority, at least cycling, running, outdoor games, and for elderly people, as you said, it's a pranayama, and even youngsters can also do the pranayama. But the thing is, it should be done from the younger age itself, so that we can prevent the disease, prevent getting the other non-communicable disease like hypertension, diabetes, hypothyroidism also. And regarding communicable disease, we will have the fighting mechanism within the body itself, because by taking good food, good exercises, and good thinking from the beginning itself. And definitely yoga helps and even pranayama helps to increase immunity again by increasing the circulation, as I already mentioned, and increase the oxygenation to each and every cells, like that.
So by thinking positivity also we can increase immunity.
Yes. See, the
It's a
main
good point.
reason for so many diseases is stress. Stress comes from so many angles. The main nucleus of the person is family, and second is office, third is traffic, and neighbors. These are all the stress inducing agents. So, by keeping ourselves happy, if you smile after seeing a person, he immediately smiles. That is most contagious. Smiling is most contagious, I think. No? Yes. So when you smile and the other opposite person also smiles, you feel happy. There are so many happy hormones in the body, like dopamine, serotonin, like that. That helps in maintaining the good health. When you are happy, your body circulation improves. As last year I mentioned that the endothelium of the artery secretes nitric oxide. That dilates the artery and that improves the circulation also and the oxygenation also. That's how the happiness leads to health. So when you are happy, you share your happiness to others, the happiness will get multiplied. Okay.
Very good medicine, sir.
Yes. Happiness is a very good medicine, exercise is a very good medicine, exposing to sunlight, eating good food like vegetables and fruits are all medicine. But the present, particularly youngsters, they lack all these things. They don't they don't take good food, they don't exercise nowadays. Because of
Sit down, please
COVID,
take
they
action.
work from home. Somebody has asked.
Sir, I have one question. As from last 3 days, I suffered viral fever. It was so bad. I took one dolo per day, but I didn't took any antibiotic and all. Today I am okay. How to handle these situations at home? Can you throw some light?
So when you get viral fever, depending on
Yes, sir.
your immunity level, the symptom arises, and also viral load. How much virus have entered your body? That is important. For example, take the COVID. If a person you meet on the road, COVID patient, nothing will happen because the atmosphere dilutes the COVID virus. The same thing if it is in the room and if you sit in front of the COVID patient, the virus load will be more and you will have more symptoms. But the thing is, any viral infection, not only COVID, if you take treatment, if the normal person is having good immunity, if you take the treatment, it will be cured within a week. And if you do not take the treatment, it will be cured within 7 days. Both are same. Understand? So in your case, like that. Dolo is just a symptomatic relief, that's all. Viral infection, usually it stays for 7 days. That's why we tell the patient, if you take the treatment, within a week you will become alright. If you do not take, 7 days it will take.
1 week and 7 days.
Both are same, but the way of telling to the patient is different. If you take the treatment, within a week you will become alright. If you do not take the treatment, it will stay for 7 days. That is a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But she is within 3 days, actually daily. Chandrika, you can throw some light how you are managed to able, right?
Sir,
Anything is wrong we are doing, doctor will correct it. He is the right person.
Sir, 2 days I slept. I took complete rest and had hot water sipping and very bland food. And yesterday only I got up and I did my job yesterday and day before yesterday. And I am okay today. I took bath and I am alright.
Yeah.
But I had some gastritis issue within 3 days. In spite of practicing pranayama also, I got this gastritis. I don't
So
understand
any viral infection, you require a sufficient rest, good food,
Yes.
and hydration. All are important.
This is enough.
Enough. If the fever recurs even after 7 days, you have to go for the blood test to rule out other diseases like typhoid, dengue, like that.
And doctor, I wanted to highlight through Chandrika. She was regularly practicing pranayama since 3 days, though she is not feeling well. She used to practice some 1 or 2, like Anlom Vilom or meditation. She used to do that. I think with that immunity, we can decide like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and deep breathing, sir. Okay. Whenever
As I told, deep breathing for 1 or 2 days doesn't help. You have to do from the beginning itself. That helps actually. And how you have spent the time during your childhood, that is also important. So the childhood, you are exposed to fields and farmhouse and earlier villages, we are exposed. And I will regarding the immunity, I will tell one fact actually. About 20 years back, in Germany, there was a study. See, Germany, there are two parts, East and West. West Germany is advanced, East Germany is suburban. But the incidence of asthma and bronchitis is more in West Germany, where they use a sanitizer, very clean, like that. But in East Germany, the kids are playing in the mud and water, and they are not at all getting any asthma. So later, one scientist proved that the dust exposed and the atmosphere they are exposed, that helps those child and get the immunity. And it has been proved later. It has been proved later. So they have started and accepted by other countries like Japan and Australia also. And they have started giving dirt pills. Pills containing dirt. That is nothing but nowadays we call it as probiotics. So, in our ancient India, we used to give panchagovya that contains cow's urine, cow dung, milk, curds, like that, all the mixture. And once in a year, we used to take very little diluted quantity. And even in China, there is a practice giving yellow soup. You know what is yellow soup? As soon as the baby borns, baby is fed by a diluted mother species. That fecal matter contains so many bacteria, and in a small quantity it acts as a natural vaccine.
One second. Can I ask?
Yes, you please.
So by you are saying now natural now immunity now build up ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we have to expose from childhood days we have to expose to everything in day-to-day life, is it?
Yes. See, first and foremost, as soon as the baby borns, the colostrum, that is the first day milk of the mother, that contains lot of antibodies, so that should not be get wasted. It is the right of the baby to get the colostrum. And the second thing, baby should, nowadays we see the babies covered all the way with a zip and all, without only eyes are get opened. That's not the way of growing the children. It is asked to expose. Allow the child to play on the floor, or even at least once in a week with sand and mud, like that, water, like that. That has to be exposed. Nowadays, during summer we use air conditioning, during winter they never come out, during rainy season Govinda, like that. So we have to expose to all sorts of weather, then only we will get the immunity.
Okay, we'll move on.
We'll go to next slide.
Yes.
So I have covered almost this one also. The detoxification occurs in the liver actually. For this also we require a good food containing vitamin B12, glutathione, vitamin A, C, D, etc., etc. and bioflavonoids. Bioflavonoids and quercetin that occurs in fruits and vegetables. So these are the nutrients needed is glutamine, glycine. These are all essential amino acids found in the proteins like eggs and broccoli, like that, and any beans. So when the function of the liver is again to get rid of the waste and reduce the toxicity of the toxins, at least by detoxification. Otherwise called it is conjugation. Toxin types are metabolic. It may be metabolic day-to-day end products, microorganism, pesticide, insecticides. Nowadays pesticide, insecticides occurs even in eatables. Those who have got stored food, packed food, they use the preservatives, colors, essence, that also, and pollutants, contaminants, food additives, colors, and drugs and alcohol. So many drugs are deposited in the body, so liver helps in excretion of the product. This is methyl sulfonyl methane diacetylcysteine. These are called xenobiotics. So xenobiotics helps in liver detoxification. And again there are so many steps. First there is oxidation, next reduction, hydrolysis, conjugation, and excretion. So this is the, I will not go in detail with this. So coming to your this one, annuloma viloma. Again this increases the oxygenation of the all parts of the body. And this one, benefits of Kapalabhati pranayama. I think I need not tell about this to Devaki, she knows better than me. It boosts the brain power, it increases the lung capacity, is stomach friendly, promotes hair growth, helps in weight gaining, best for diabetics, and of course best for even hypothyroidism, high infertility, PCOD cases, and even PCOD, infertility and hypothyroidism, though he cannot reverse the disease, he can at least reduce the dose of hormonal intake. Any queries from Devaki?
Nothing like that. So I would like to say, because I used to say for my students, I am the live examples. Since 10 years, as you know, actually thyroid it is within some 5 or 6. You are not at all asked me to take tablets. So like that only I am maintaining some since 10 to 12 years. I think pranayama like
Yes,
Kapalabhati,
definitely.
Ujjayi, Anulom Viloma, it helps, I believe. Now also even last month also I went there, some 5.2, that thyroid, it was there, it is there, doctor. So I'm proud about pranayama really. I think, yes, you have told no, within 10, no problem, you don't take
And best,
medicines, you can maintain like that.
I'll touch upon this, best for diabetics. So when you do Kapalabhati, you contract the stomach like this, so that compresses the pancreas and stimulates the islets of Langerhans, that is beta cells, to release the oxygen at the same time, insulin. So that has been proved actually. And second thing is, we can reverse the diabetes in early stages, not in advanced stages. Early stages means if the HbA1c level is between 5.7 and 6.4, in addition to the diet and exercise, doing pranayama, particularly Kapalabhati, it definitely reverses the disease. But once the person becomes normal, should not initiate the taking the sweets again. They have to do regular exercise and the diet that should be continued. So instead of taking medicine, they can stop all the medicines.
So
Excuse me,
one
sir,
of
can I put a
my,
word?
Yeah.
Can I speak?
Yes.
So I think it's the same context. I think today just I was looking at a startup company which is doing only breathing in. Okay, with the breathing in, right type of breathing in, they are reversing diabetic 2 also. Okay, and it is a new startup. It has come, and recently they are funded by 50 crores. Funding has happened yesterday. Okay, so I think this is really nice. We take this message to the community, social community, and really helps a lot of people, especially India, which is having one of the highest diabetic patients in the world now. Okay, so
You are rightly said.
Really helps.
You are rightly said. But
Yes.
this should be done before organ damage. Any organ damage for that matter, neuropathy, retinopathy, nephropathy. If it occurs, he cannot reverse the organ damage. Organ damage is permanent. The only thing, we can halt the process of destruction of the vital organs. So in early stages, as I said, if the at least HbA1c within 7.5, you can try the breathing with the help of regular exercise and diet, good diet. You are right.
thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Bhagyashree, you wanted to ask something, in what stage we can control, like she has put the message. The diabetic, you said no, Kapalbhati and all, it is useful. At what stage like that they are asking? The HbA1c is 5.4 to 6.4.
5.7 to 6.4, some even up to 7, I can say, it works.
That is the stage, I believe. We can take that as a stage.
Take the message, not if you do only Kapalabhati without doing diet and exercise, it is of no use.
Nothing will happen. Yes, correct.
See,
Doctor,
doing pranayama is an add-on. It's not the sole the reason to reduce it is an add-on because it increases the oxygenation and cellular respiration. Even production of insulin also increases. So here, the islets of Langerhans or beta cells, the energy is secreting the insulin itself.
Doctor, there is a condition where even if the insulin is produced by the body will not be able to make use of the insulin resistance.
Resistance will be there. See, the insulin resistance occurs mainly because of the two reasons: inactivity, sedentary life, and obesity. Obesity itself a risk factor, and wherein this fat cell secretes some inflammatory hormones, kinins, we call it cytokinins, that develop the insulin resistant. Not for all persons. And second thing is, if you keep on taking the insulin on the same site, the tissue get fibrous, they become hard. So when we inject the insulin, it tracks back through the needle pricking. So there will be no absorption. And suddenly, if you keep on changing, that is better. And in spite of that, sometimes insulin doesn't work. So in such case, we have to use a different type of insulin. So there are so many type of insulin: short acting, long acting, very long acting, like that, and basal insulin, like that. So depending on the patient's requirement, we change it.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. So in overall, I can say it improves the pranayama, improves the focus and self-awareness, and practice deep inhalation exhalation. It burns the extra fat. It helps to lose the extra weight by burning the extra fat, improve the state of mind, improve the focus and self-awareness, and what not. There are so many other things also. So with this, I conclude my speech. Thank you.